Good evening. Welcome to Burnlore Stadium. We have the number one team in the country in town today. It's Denison out of Granville, Ohio, and we're excited for this one. The Big Red will test the Comets tonight for sure. 7-0-1 on the season. Last year, 15-2-6. They lost in the Elite Eight of the NCAA tournament after knocking off the number one seed of Mary Washington, that is. In Virginia. They won in double overtime of that game in the 105th minute on a goal from Zarius Yassib. He's still on the squad with the rest of his, a lot of very good players from that team. They do not have their 14-goal scorer, Jake Kruger, this season as he graduated. But this team obviously brought a lot of talent back. They finished last season ranked number 6th in the coaches poll. And obviously they've moved their way up to number 1 now this year. They have a draw against Otterbein, which is of note considering it's not a school that we're very fond of over here on the Capital side of things. But other than that, I mean, this team has been untouchable this year, 7-0-1. And impressive wins, a 4-0 win against number 18 John Hopkins. They defeated Marietta in their most recent game 2-0. They have a couple of other blowout wins against Franklin and Marshall College, for example, and a 6-0 win against Berea College. They tied at Otterbein 3-3. So that was back on September 17th, 10 days ago. See for what that is worth. Then they start their Big Red weekend, as they call it, against Kenyon in the NCAC, a school that we faced earlier this year as well in the opener. A game that Kenyon pulled out against Cap. Cap lost their last game against Ohio Wesleyan on Wednesday. I was trying to think of, in the drive over here, what I wanted to say about that game. It felt like they did better, I think, than expected going in. They only lost 2-0. So if you look at the scoreboard, it's a good scoreboard to look at in terms of, they didn't get blown out, for example. 2-1, excuse me, was the score of the game. And it was a game that likely could have been more for the Comets. I feel like they could have even got out of there with a draw, but at the same time, a lot of good saves by Thomas in that game, kept it closer than it might have been. And then that third goal came to give it the 2-goal advantage, 3-1 win for Ohio Wesleyan. That goal in the 57th minute after Monsalvo scored was kind of a backbreaker. A couple of defensive miscues on the first 2 goals. And just some pure speed from Sam Owusu-Sarfo on the second goal. It's hard to make of what you can from that because, again, the Comets had a chance at making it a lot closer than it looked. But is 3-1 really look that bad to begin with against a really good Ohio Wesleyan team? I don't know. We'll see what tonight stands for the Comets. Keep it close and see what you can do with this team. They're big. They score a lot of goals, and we'll touch more on that matchup from Wednesday going into this one today as well. But let's get to our starting lineups announced here at the stadium, and then we'll come back up here in the booth after the anthem and break things down a little bit more as play gets going in about 5 minutes here from the Capitol Center and Burnlore Stadium. You're listening to the Capital Sports Network on Flow Sports. Over to our public address.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and once more, welcome to Burnlore Stadium on the campus of Capital University for tonight's non-conference game featuring the visiting Big Red of Denison University and your Capital University Comets. Fans, let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's games. First for the visitors. Number 2, Zarius Yassib. Number 4, Henry Hayes. Number 7, Justin Crow. Number 8, Phil Kusafis. Number 11, Eli Taylor. Number 12, Jack Rice. Number 16, Julian Bazzolo. Number 17, Dominic Pellick. Number 21, Cameron Kist. Number 25, Caden Kist. And the goalkeeper is number 30, Alex Provo. The head coach is Brandon Bianco, assisted by Krista Cruz and Ben Geller. And now, the starting lineup for your Capital University Comets. At defense, a junior from Hilliard, number 3, Jack Thomas. At defense, a sophomore from Lewis Center, number 5, Carter Musgrove. At midfield, a sophomore from Blacklick, number 6, Josiah Benjamin. At forward, a junior from Hilliard, number 7, Wasim Metetla. At defense, a junior from Granville, number 13, Jackson Terry. At midfield, a sophomore from Hilliard, number 14, Christian Monsalvo. At forward, a junior from Dublin, number 23, Cade Worsner. At midfield, a freshman from Delaware, number 24, Harper Gillen. At midfield, a freshman from Cary, North Carolina, number 28, Phoenix Julis. At midfield, a freshman from Bjard, Sweden, number 32, Edvin Segerstrom. And in goal for Capital is a senior from Dublin, number 1, Ethan Ogden. The Comets are led by head coach Corey Kirk in his second season. Assistants are Joe Held and Paul Garland. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, we invite you to rise and remove your caps for the playing of the national anthem.
All right, welcome back up here to the broadcast booth here at Bernlohr Stadium. Once again, Denison is in town as the number 1 team in the country for just joining us 7-0-1, taking on the Comets, coming in at 1-4-1 off a 3-1 loss to Ohio Wesleyan their last time out. Christian Monsalvo did get his 3rd goal of the season for the Comets, but a team that has scored just 5 goals this year in those 6 games, looking to break out in a big way. No better night than tonight against this Denison team that is off a Elite 8 loss in the 2024 NCAA tournament. They have not lost since that game. They're 7-0-1. They've lost just 2 times since the start of the 2024 season. They're not used to losing. Let's see if we can do something about that today. Zarius Usib, the hero from the Sweet 16 NCAA tournament game for them last year, starts off the starters for us. Henry Hayes, Justin Crow, Phil Kofsaftis, Eli Taylor, Jake Rice, Julian Bozzolo, Dominic Pellick, Cameron Kist, Caden Kist, and Alex Provo, the freshman out of New Jersey, the starting goalkeeper today. For head coach Brandon Bianco in his 6th season, assisted by Christian de Cruz, Ben Goller, and Brandon Morgan. For the Comets, they continue to flip-flop their goalkeepers, and Ethan Ogden will get the start today, the senior out of Dublin, Ohio, Bowling Green transfer. And he's joined by Jack Thomas, Carter Musgrove, Josiah Benjamin, Wasim Metetla, Jackson Terry, Christian Monsalvo back in the starting lineup, Cade Worsner, Harper Gillen, Phoenix Julis, and Edvin Segerstrom. We'll see who's available for the Comets. Tony Epstein missed the last game for the Comets. Brandon Dorsett's missed a few now as well. And we saw Dio Arve pick up an injury as well in that last game early against Ohio Wesleyan. We didn't see him the rest of the day, so a chance that he's also unavailable for this one. Denison will have the first kick, and they send a bomb down the left side line. First touched by Benjamin. And Dorsett missing just 1 game this year, which was the last game for the Comets. So a little bit banged up. That's kind of been the story for this Comets team, unfortunately, over the past few years. Today, the starting alignment down here on the near sideline is Jackson Terry, Jack Thomas opposite of him. Josiah Benjamin gets the start at defense. He's in the center back position opposite Carter Musgrove. That was occupied by Hughes in the last alignment for the Comets. I thought he played really well, so we'll see what the plan is for Landon Hughes today. Ball's going to be a goal kick on this one. Then in the midfield, Julius is in the defensive midfield spot. Hunter Gillen, more of an attacking midfield position, as well as Segerstrom. We'll finish the strikers and the forwards up top in a minute here as Denison's going to bring it into the box. Nice job saving that in play. Ogden dives on top of it. Playing up top as a striker is Worsner. Out wide to his left is Metetla. And up top to the right, that leaves the final starter of number 14, Christian Monsalvo. Call it a, I guess, 4-2-3-1, if you will, with Gillen and Julius as the defensive midfielders. Oh, miskicked by Denison, but it works out for them. Using a very similar 4-2-3-1 alignment as well. Nice pass to the middle of the field, stolen away by Denison. Coming with some speed now is Pellick. Working it outside is Bozzolo. Bozzolo looking for some help. Tried to work it back to Pellick, and he loses it. And some sloppy play back and forth as Denison's going to recover. And a ball that's sent through the box on a cross, all the way through the box to the other side of the field, the high sideline now. Sent back in, off Benjamin, off two bodies now. Comets wanted a handball. They're not going to get the call. And the captain, Carter Musgrove, escorts it to the sideline. Nice fake there by Metetla. And his pass offline, stolen away by Crow. Good defense from behind here by two Capital players. Gillen trying to pop it through and can't. Cameron Kist to the corner. Bozzolo again. Looking for some help in the box. Can't get it in there yet. Comes out to midfield. Great passing from the Big Red. And comparing this to the Ohio Wesleyan game, again, it was 3-1, but it felt like the Comets were not really on their heels the whole time. They were playing with them, skating with them, if you will. Obviously, they're not on skates, but to use a figure of speech, I felt like they were right there with them for most of the game, and it wasn't this kind of lopsided, dominant side of the field, all the actions on the Capital side, for example. We didn't see that on Wednesday. I think that might be the difference today. I think Denison is already showing they have great possession skills, and they're finding people in empty spaces in this defense, and it sets up a corner kick that almost leads to a goal, and that's how Ohio Wesleyan scored early in the game against the Comets on Wednesday off a header on a corner. This time the Comets make the save, no deja vu. It'll be a second corner kick now. Ogden, of course, did not get the start. This is his fourth of the season, a 2.0 GAA, same numbers as Noah Thomas. And he punches this one out of the air on the corner as well. 62.5% save percentage, 10 saves for him. Noah's at 13 saves with a 68% save percentage. I bring up their stats together because it's a big decision for Coach who's going to start for the Comets come conference play. Baldwin Wallace is looming. Comets will have the off day Wednesday, so they have a full week to figure out what they want to do for the 2 o'clock game on Saturday here against Baldwin Wallace. Denison almost scores on a rebound outside of the box. I thought that one was pure from Cameron Kist, but it went just a little to the right of the net. 5 minutes in, and the Big Red are showing why they're the number one team in the country so far. They've got the Comets on their heels with 2 shots already. Ogden's made 1 save. Here come the Comets on the counterattack now. They've got some space on the near side. Metetla rolls it down to Terry. Terry tries to cross, and it gets chopped on its way through And Denison, oh, that was an aggressive side move in front of Worstner. Not really anything Worstner could do there, but he did run over the Big Red player. Now they've moved the ball up about 5 yards. Metetla trying to get the officials' attention, but no one said anything about it. Denison coming off a 2-0 win against Marietta. And again, they tied with Otterbein 3-3, their only game on the season that has not been a win for them. Coach Kirk is giving Metetla some coaching feedback here as the Comets will send it back into play shortly. Ogden placing it down. Leading scorers for the Big Red. Cameron Kist has 4 goals and 4 assists. Henry Hayes has 4 goals as well. Usib and Bozzolo, as well as Eli Taylor off the bench, have 3 apiece. Taylor and Usib are the leading scorers from last year's team that returned. They each had 7. I mentioned earlier in the pregame, Kruger, no longer with the team, had 14 for them last season. Very impressive. Comets in the box, and it's going to stop there. The Comets say they have a corner, and they do get the call. Usib was trying to box him out, but it might have touched his foot there or something. I'm not sure. But it works out for the Comets nicely. Ball sent into the box on the corner, off of Denison. That ball's still in play, kept alive, and Denison's got it all the way 30 yards out. Gillen wants the win. He doesn't get it. For reference, Marietta went 3-5-1 last year, 6-10-2 overall. Otterbein was 13-7-2 overall with a 6-3 record. Cap was 5-3-1. So they've kind of played with this Denison team, or with the teams that Denison didn't really blow out or embarrass. So you'd think Cap might have a shot here, despite the obvious #1 ranking next to Denison and their better play to this point. The Comets are holding strong and bringing the fight to the Big Red. You've got to have the ball on their side of the field, obviously. You can't just play defense the whole time. And the Comets have come out with a game plan that is to punch back at Denison. So far, they aren't landing those punches, but they're trying. Musgrove's going to win the foot race here. Back to Ogden, and he plays it safe, kicking it out of bounds. Smart move by the veteran keeper in net. Only 3 players for the Comets have scored all season. 2 of them didn't play against OWU and might not be available today as well. So someone else is going to have to step up outside of Monsalvo to help him carry the load. 9 minutes in. Denison might just throw this one into the box. Looks like that is the call. Thrown into a good spot. Usib got a touch on it and then kicked it from point-blank range. And Ogden makes the save. That probably didn't feel great. We've seen Usib has a nose for the goal, and he almost put it in there. Always a weapon when you can have someone who has the arm to get it into the box and turns a kick, basically a throw-in, into a corner kick. And that's exactly what we saw there. Ogden, oh goodness. He misplays the kick, and it almost turned into a nightmare. The Comets pick him up defensively. And now Musgrove working with Metetla. Back to Musgrove. They've got room up high. Great pass from Musgrove. And the Comets will slow things down now with Thomas. Almost a disaster there, but good recovery from the Comets. And Musgrove, the captain for this Comets squad, talking his players through this next breakout. In net is Alex Provo for Denison, meanwhile. 602 minutes in net. 3 goals allowed this season, a .45 GAA, 16 saves, 84% save percentage. He's replacing Tommy Prokos, who last season played 1,900 minutes in net with an 83% save percentage and 62 saves with a .56 GAA. So basically giving the same production, if not better, than Prokos gave last year. Now, again, they haven't gone into their tough conference play either, but he's doing the job so far. You can't take that away from him. Good matchup in net. Comets can't clear it out, and Ogden has to dive to make a save. Comets are back to the defense again on these corner kicks. This is already the third corner kick. It's felt like more because of the throw-ins as well. Comets hold strong once again. Chip back in. Nice pass there. Denison keeping the pressure on. Sent to the far post. Centered. Controlled. Shot got blocked there. Excellent work by the Comets. That was Julius who got in the way of it. Matetla puts it out in front of Worshner. He's got a step. Sends the centering pass. Monzalvo. It's loose in the box. Comets controlling it. Matetla looking for some help. Centers it over to Worshner. Back down to Terry. Terry with the cross. And it goes through innocently enough. Oh, that was almost a chance. Worshner showed off his speed and chased that ball down. Goodness gracious, it was almost a kind of deja vu-like goal. I've said that a lot today already, of the game against OWU where Monzalvo did score his third goal of the season. Kind of a scramble drill in front of the net. Odd man situation, but it didn't happen this time. Did you know when you buy Pepsi, you're buying local, from Pepsi to Mountain Dew and everything in between? G&J Pepsi brings you products that are oh so refreshing and Ohio bottled. G&J Pepsi, local products, a global brand, and a proud partner of Capital Athletics. 32 minutes left to go in the first half. No score from Bernlohr Stadium. Another one way out of the net. Comets had to come out to challenge that. They do get the throw in. And again, they're bringing the fight right back. Comets will have to fall back to defense here, though. Nice footwork defensively there from Terry, poking away that ball. Mazzolo losing it for Denison. Terry once again plays it off Mazzolo, who wanted a handball. Worshner fighting for that one. And it comes all the way up high to Rice. Centered. Oh, nice ball here. This is going to be trouble. Julius reads it beautifully, takes the run away from Kist. Terry back to Musgrove. Musgrove popping it to midfield. That might work. Segerstrom has it. Good ball out in front of Monzalvo. Christian controls with the chest. Centers. It's on the ground in front of the net. Yusib sweeps it away. Following up is Thomas. Into the corner. Don't play that. You're offside. Monzalvo couldn't. And it's going to be a throw-in in the corner. Well, the Comets are giving them their best so far. We've seen a couple of chances develop. Nothing finished, obviously, but there is some positive things going on here to build off of. Centered back to Matetla. He got through 2 bodies. That one was a clean tackle, I thought. No call from the officials either. Rice bringing it up again. Played it back to Kiss. Now Kiss rolls it into the midfield. And Denison scrambles to keep possession. Here's Crow now. Sent in from way out over the head of Terry. And it's going to be off the head of Terry, actually. And the Big Red will get another throw-in / corner kick. Whatever you want to call it here. I'm sure they've done extensive research on this and are aware of the weapon that is on the side here for Denison. It's getting loud as Caden Kist has 5 assists, leads the team. I'm sure some of them are off of these throw-ins. Good throw-in to Yusib, who headers it over the net. Keep an eye on number 2 tonight, Zarius Yusib. He's got 3 goals this season. Only 4 shots on goal, so if he puts it on frame, it's usually in the net. Big bomb here from Ogden. Yusib is the first to get ahead on it. Little turn and go from Kusaftis. Still working with it. Able to get it off to a teammate right into the body of Ogden. That was Rice on the shot that time. That's Jack Rice. He scored 1 goal this season in 7 games. Missed one of the games for the Big Red. Only Hayes, Yusib, and Cameron Kist, as well as Kusaftis, have started all of the games for Denison this season. That's just 4 players. Speaks to some depth, but also speaks to some injury bugs for them as well. Cross here gets cut down. That was Bozzolo trying to find it on a way through. And it'll be a throw-in one for the Comets. 26:45 to play, and the Comets are content with the 11 they've got out there, holding strong with the number 1 team in the country. Sign up for Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Rewards. The more you order, the tastier rewards you'll earn. Starting with a free sandwich after your first order, Freaky Fast Rewards are worth it. Visit jimmyjohns.com or in the app to start. Jimmy John's a proud supporter of Capital Athletics. 26:21 to play. Flying solo tonight here from Bernlohr Stadium. I'm Jimmy Bloomfield. Thank you as always for joining us on the Capital Sports Network presented by Flow Sports. Stolen away at midfield. Oh, there's a good trip from behind there by Worstner. That's the 2nd time he's brought a Denison player to the ground, so he's probably on thin ice in terms of getting a card. Denison resumes play. Bozzolo has it just outside the box. Now into the box, across. No one there in front of the net. Kusaftis threw it across with the foot, obviously. Put it right on the carpet in front of the net. No one home to send that home. Monzalvo trying to get something going at midfield now for the Comets. Thomas is going to have plenty of time here. Plays it back to Ogden. Ethan over to Julis and down to Carter Musgrove. Musgrove, the very vocal sophomore captain of this team. Nice challenge there, followed up by Musgrove. Out of bounds. Key Companies is a proud partner of Capital Athletics as well, and they have been providing quality printing services for the Central Ohio area since 1965. From banners and brochures to yard signs and postcards and so much more, big or small, Key can print it all. Visit keycompanies.com for a quote today, or stop in and meet their team of print specialists at the German Village location at 195 East Livingston Avenue, or their Westerville location at 1920 Schrock Road. That's Key Companies for all your printing needs. I had my eye on the action there, was making sure we wouldn't miss something like this. A shot at the net that's headed away, and Monsalvo escorts it to the sideline. To touch on the history of this matchup, it dates back to 2010. The Comets lost that first one 2-1, and overall they're 3-8-1 against the Big Red. They had a 3-game winning streak from 2016 to 2018. They tied 0-0 in 2019, no game in 2020 due to COVID. And the last 3 matchups in 2021, 2022, and last year have gone Denison's way. 4-1, 2-1, and then last year 1-0. So again, a Denison team that was ranked number 6 in the country at the end of the year last year, went to the Elite Eight, lost by a goal in the Elite Eight, entered the tournament ranked 10th. The Comets played them to a 1-0 game last year at Denison, where they didn't lose a game last year, by the way. So, again, I want to say there's been crazier upsets than what we would see today. The Comets are more than capable of doing this. And they're hanging right now with the number 1 team, but they're under attack once again. Oh, it's almost an own goal. Oh, my goodness. What a save by Ogden. That ball was crossed through. Matetla came back into the play to help out defensively and almost put it in the net. I don't know how Ogden was ready for that. Unbelievable instincts from Ethan to almost anticipate that. He probably saw Matetla, to be honest. Out of the corner of his eye, saw him streaking through and was ready for a redirect. Now the corner kick. Just wide of the net. They are under assault right now. Playing with fire. So much firepower for this Big Red team. So far, hanging in there. October 4th is a big one for OAC play. We'll play Baldwin Wallace, obviously here, and the women's soccer team will travel to Berea to take them on to start their conference play. And volleyball has their next home match October 4th against Baldwin Wallace as well to start their OAC play. So it'll be a big Baldwin Wallace weekend. Football already played. Baldwin Wallace suffered a loss. And a heartbreaker today against Marietta. They lost on a last-second field goal here at Bernlohr this afternoon to the Pios. Tetla trying to keep this run alive. Denison doing a nice job taking it away. A lot of congestion on the sideline, so they send it to midfield. Smart play. Josiah Benjamin now playing it forward, and it ends up right back on his foot. Big Red will make a substitution. Dominic Pellick coming off. It'll be thrown in now. Miles Crosser checking in. Jack Rice also came out, and Colin McDonald came in for Denison. Now a foul is going to give a kick to the Comets, and now it's kicked away in kind of an unsporting-like matter. You hear the grumbles from the Capitol bench. They wanted a call there. 19:32 to play. Monsalvo trying to get Thomas on a run. Dribbled out of bounds. And how about this? Tony Epstein will check in for the Comets. He replaces Matetla. Epstein did not play in the last game against Ohio Wesleyan, a captain of this team, and one of 3 goal scorers on the team. So good to see him back out there, maybe still coming back from injury. This is a big game against number 1, obviously, but number 1 on the Capital mind might be that game next weekend against Baldwin Wallace. So you want to make sure all of your guys are full go for that one for sure. Eli Taylor on a run now for Denison. Wins the battle with Thomas, but loses it to Carter Musgrove, who came all the way from the left center back to the top of the formation there on the defensive side to stop that run from Taylor. 8 shots for Denison, 4 on goal. 4 saves, obviously, for Ethan in net. The Comets have not had a shot yet. On paper, it looks like they've done nothing. But they've actually hung in there pretty good and I think have had a couple of opportunities. And they got another chance here. On a run is Terry. He's got room to the left. Segerstrom's out there. Segerstrom goes down. Clean tackle again by Denison. Now Segerstrom's called for a whistle. Too aggressive. Denison will make a couple of subs. Comets getting back on their heels now as Denison starts their next rush. Zigzagging through the box. Ogden makes the save. That was great individual play there to get that ball on net. Punched away by Ogden again this time. Boy, Ethan is playing out of his mind early on. He's got to keep this for a full 90. The Big Red will retreat back to their defense at midfield and restart another run. 16.5 minutes to play in the half. Ball's bouncing through. Cleared away for the moment. It comes all the way back to midfield again. Yusib trying to feed it down to this side now, and it's going to twist out of bounds. Coach Kirk coming over to one of the subs about to check in for Denison. That's Emmett O'Brien, sophomore out of Upper Arlington. Not sure the connection between the two there, but they gave each other a high five. Upper Arlington obviously here in the area, so makes sense that there's some sort of connection there. So that ball's going to go out of bounds in favor of the Comets. So the Comets control the play now for the first time in a while. Segerstrom trying to feed one all the way up high to Monsalvo. It didn't make it through. Comets will get it right back though. Under 15 minutes to play. First half action, no score. Much different than playing from behind, obviously. You still not chasing anything. keep everything in front of you, both literally and figuratively, and missed kick here. So not a perfect game so far from Denison. Crosser gets crossed up, if you will, and doesn't find the right spot to place that ball. That should have been a hand on the Big Red. Stolen away and controlled by Taylor. Swings it left. Left-footed shot into the back of the net. No doubt there from Kusaftis after he let that one go. He went right to the corner to celebrate. An absolute missile off the left foot of the senior, Phil Kusaftis. And the Big Red strike first finally. Feels like that one was building up. And it's the 9th shot of the game, make it the 10th shot of the game. That is pure. That's Kusaftis' first goal of the season. And that looked like one of the better kicks I've seen on a goal-scoring effort for a guy who just scored his first goal of the year. Unbelievable effort. Well, I just said keep everything in front of you and keep them off the board, and all that goes out the window now. $13:20 to play. Sent upfield. Worstner tried to do a rainbow over his head there, and official says everything was clean. Denison comes out of it with another run from midfield. Miskicked again. That was Crosser again. Denison cleaning it up. That goes up high. Out, down to the bottom, shot left of the net. They're continuing to fire away. Denison brought in Will Fullerton and Emmett O'Brien after the goal scorer. And now Liam Walsh checks in for Caden Kist as well. Musgrove plays it back to Ethan Ogden. Comet's really slowing it down. Sent upfield now on the kick from Ogden. Segerstrom got jumped on top of there. Worstner trying to work it through. Good contest here from Walsh. Wins possession for Denison. They're starting to get real loud on that side. That one's going to be the Comets throwing again on this side of midfield now. And now the Comets want to call down there in the near corner, but they're not going to get one. 10 minutes to play. Comets on their heels once more. Denison coming down the field. They control it through the box. A clear doesn't make it all the way out. Shot to the front of the net gets blocked by a teammate there as Kiss let it go. Sent back in again, right in front of the net, and that's going to be another goal. The Big Reds score again and celebrate in the corner. Believe that one was Hayes, but we'll confirm the goal scorer as he gets mobbed by his teammates. Two 2-0 Denison. It was not Hayes. It was Walsh. Is that 9? It's got to be 9. Yeah, O'Brien gets the goal scorer there for Denison. Sorry for shouting out a few names there, but Emmett O'Brien, who we mentioned had the personal connection there with Coach Kirk before coming into the game. He's the one that gets it done. Two 2-0 Big Red all of a sudden. Yasaftis and now O'Brien score. 32nd and 36th minutes, so within 5 minutes of each other. All of a sudden it's a 2-0 game. Ogden clears it away, trying to start a run on the near sideline. Comets trying to get something going on the near sideline in response, and Denison clears it away again, and it feels like they've seen blood and they just want to keep going now. Keep attacking. Comets just trying to limp to the locker room down 2-0. They're the number 1 team in the country for a reason, folks. We're seeing it right now. Denison refusing to let the Comets clear. It seems as they're just blasting the ball away. They just control it so well. Look again, Capital can't get the clear after getting the first touch. That's been the real difference. And now a Denison player goes down. Yellow card issued to Jackson Terry. So after the booking, Denison goes to the work. Left-footed swing into the box. Comes back out. Back to midfield again. Denison has no problem bringing it all the way back out and restarting. They're doing such a good job controlling and keeping the pressure on. And again, I kind of expected this coming in. I thought they would be the ones to be the aggressor here, for sure. Denison trying to add on with 6 minutes left in the half. They're going to bring it into the box again. Oh, a trip in the box. The officials say that's clean, fortunately. Thrown in again. And they swing it around to the high end of the field. Send into the box from midfield. It bounces in front of Ogden. He comes out of the net and makes the stop. It's been a good half, I think, still for him. 5 saves. He's been under constant attack here. The Comets have used just 2 subs. Epstein's played 13 minutes. And we've seen Sam Young check in again. Check that. Austin Young check in again, number 19. Besides those 2, that's been it for the Comets. Forstner came out for Young 5 minutes ago. Benjamin clears it with the help of Ogden. Back to midfield now. Center to the near side hash, and Segerstrom hits the deck and gets the call from the officials. Benjamin goes up high with it to Thomas now. Comets have controlled it since the Segerstrom foul. Nico Voigt getting ready to check in next for the Comets. Monsalvo sends it through the box, and we'll see if Voigt can be of service here for the final 3 minutes. Comets get the throw in on the far side, control it, and just rolled too far out in front for a goal kick. 2:36 to play. They've at least gotten a better grip on play here in the last few minutes, but at what cost? 2 goals in the back of the net already. Goal kick sent past midfield off the head of Denison first. Terry goes up high with it. Monsalvo trying to read it off a bounce. It's cleared away.
2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes.
You hear the call there for 2 minutes left in the half. Up the far sideline, Monsalvo wins the possession now. Benjamin rolls it down to Musgrove. Musgrove to the left. Terry has it. Terry, inside move. Stolen away. And here comes Denison with numbers. Through ball, though, not what was imagined there. I don't know if that was a panic in terms of time or what. Had more than a minute left. Comets get it all the way back up the far sideline on Denison's side. 42 seconds left. See if either team gets a run out of this for the final 30 seconds. Denison's trying. Musgrove controls it. Musgrove pitches it through midfield. Denison wins the challenge. Good win by Thomas. Back to Ogden with 15 seconds left. And he sends it to the near sideline. Musgrove has it at midfield. Tries to get something going. 7 seconds left. And Epstein winds up for a big kick. He gets taken down. The officials say no problem with that. And that's how the half comes to an end. Denison steals 2 goals. And they lead 2-0. As we head to the halftime break here, you've been listening to the Capital Sports Network on Flow Sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Bernlohr Stadium. 2-0 lead for number 1 Denison on top of Cap. We resume play in the second half. 13 shots for Denison, none for the Comets. It looks a lot more lopsided than it is, but again, Denison's just been so good with possession of the ball today, and a lot of that is not going to be captured in a number on a stat sheet for us. Just so good on these challenges, so good on 50-50 balls, and they've been doing a really good job keeping play away from their side of the field. There's been a couple of counter opportunities for the Comets, and then the last 15 minutes or so of the half, that's where the difference really showed the most, I think. Comets will be chasing 2 to start the half, a familiar sight, as that's exactly what happened against Ohio Wesleyan on Wednesday. And they trailed to Kenyon by the same, I believe at some point, 2-0 in that game. That one was all the way back on the opener, so excuse me if I misspoke there. These NCAC schools are quick. They never trailed by 2 to Kenyon. They conceded 2, but they lost 2-1 in that game. 1-0, then they tied it and then gave up the game winner with 12 minutes to go. Good to see Tony Epstein out there and available, I'll say, in that first half. Need him for conference play for sure. Doesn't look like any changes for the Comets from their starting 11 that I've spotted yet. Clearly a group that they like. It is the starting 11, in fact. Segerstrom has it. Good ball to Worstner, trying to split 2 defenders. He played it over towards Monsalvo. Benjamin holding his ground, uses his face to bounce that to Thomas. Julius. Thomas, Julius, nothing here. And the Big Red get the steal again. Their footwork is so special. Driven into the box, and Benjamin has no choice but to clear it away. So it'll be a corner kick for Denison. This is their 6th corner kick. Cleared away on a low line drive into the box. Sent back in. Wow, what a great kick. It lofted just a little bit too far over the net and landed on top of the goal, but honestly, great air under that one. I like the idea. Comets almost come away with it. That was a really good chance. Now Denison on the counter, cut down by Thomas. Matetla plays it off the Denison player. Wow. The officials waiting for a call, looking at each other, and then they send it down this way. Denison pounding this near sideline. 3 players down it. Another good tackle there from the Comets. Send into the box. Aggressive kick by Musgrove to get that out. Bicycle kicked it basically out. So another throw in for Denison. Kist will throw it in again. Not a lot of arm on that one. It got to Yasib still. 3 or 4 headers finally cleared into the sky. Headed back in. Headed back down, and too aggressive. Denison giving that up. So Ogden will take the kick here. Still waiting for the kick from Ogden. Here it is. Won by the Comets. Worstner over to Matetla. He's surrounded by 3. Denison gets the steal out of it. Taylor has some help with Rice. Dropped it back, and now back to Taylor. Look at the speed here from the Big Red. Headed away on the corner kick now. And again, you see 2 white jerseys around the ball, but still Denison's able to keep the possession on it. And it's sent off the side of the net now with 37 minutes remaining. Comets will try to slowly work it up the sideline now on the near side of the field. And it's not going to get very far. All the way back to the goalkeeper, Provo, who sends it upfield. Segerstrom found a target that he liked in Julis. And now sent up by Terry. Monsalvo in a foot race. That's going to go out of bounds. Here, Coach Kirk urging his guys on. Got to cut this thing in half before you can come all the way back. So the challenge here for the Comets is to find one. But Denison seems to have thoughts of another themselves. Crossed in. Nice drop beautifully there. Punch towards the net. Rice ended up with the final kick there. Really a great pass to set him up. You can just see the difference in numbers on these attacks. Denison's sometimes even, and if they're not even, it's 3 players chasing after the guy with the ball, whereas the Comets are kind of just dribbling it into a mess of red. Really good defensive systems here on display for the Big Red. Back to the attack again. Jumping out of the way is Terry. Calls for it back. Into the box. Terry keeps it alive. And it's sent out of bounds. So at least not a goal kick here. The Comets will get the throw in on this side of the field. .35 minutes to play. And this one's sent towards the near sideline now out of bounds. Comets trying to find something on the near side. Nothing's working yet. They still get the win on the throw-in, though. The officials calling time as they're not on the same page now. Can hear the sideline saying it never went out of bounds. Someone thought there was a foul potentially. Players and the referee not on the same page here. They're going to give Cap a throw-in. Sent over. Down to the near side now. Controlled by Matetla. Making a run is Gillen. Taken away from him now. Denison just so quick on these counters. Comets get back nicely. Credit to Julis. Triangulating that one over to Kist. Kist left foot cross. Found its target back outside. Looked like, I guess, Rice is onside. Rice with a nice move to get into the box. But nothing more than showmanship there. Now Worstner trying to win a foot race. Gets past one defender. You see, make sure it's safe over to his keeper. Provo now getting some pressure on his intended target, Hayes, but Hayes gets rid of it. Hayes playing catch with the opposite team. Now Thomas gives it right back to him. And here comes Denison now. 33-20 to play in the half. Kicked out. Oh, nope, that stayed in bounds. Good job by Denison to keep that play alive. Now Benjamin. Had the last touch, goes up high. Terry working with Monsalvo. Segerstrom's out in front there on the left side, but not going to get all the way up to him there. Comets fighting. Oh, Denison player goes down. Play goes on. That's Kist, who's been throwing in the throwing in the throw-ins from the sideline. He would be a huge loss. He's back onto his feet. And got hit in the mouth area, it looks like. I think he's fine. Monsalvo, meanwhile, as play continues, as an airplane flies over the stadium. Trying to catch some of the action, maybe. Maybe not. 32 minutes to play. Up high, Terry. Comets chasing a 2-0 total right now. Goal scored by Kusafsis and O'Brien off the bench. Each player scoring their first goal of the season. Actually, O'Brien his second, excuse me, but not any of their real, quote-unquote, big goal scorers. Denison trying to get a counter push going once again. McDonald will check back in again for Denison. Denison has it on the far side. Back to Provo in net for Denison. They reset all the way back. On a run, offside. Okay. I was a little hesitant to get excited about the play there, as it looked like offside to me. And if it wasn't offside, it was about to be a big goal for Denison, probably. That was McDonald, who broke 3 there. So 15 minutes in, still 2-0 here. Sign up for Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Rewards. The more you order, the tastier rewards you'll earn, starting with a free sandwich after your first order. Freaky Fast Rewards are worth it. Visit jimmyjohns.com or download their app to start your account today. Jimmy John's is a proud supporter of Capital Athletics. Tony Epstein checks back in for the Comets, replacing Gillen. Be a throw-in for the Comets on the far sideline here. Ball's about 20 yards up from where it was. Denison on the counter, really using some of that speed. And up high it goes, and out of bounds. Evan O'Brien checks back in. Again, he scored the goal earlier. Fake from Hayes as he works it forward to Crosser. Check back in for Denison. Will Fullerton also checking in for Mazzolo for the Big Red. Crosser sizes up Matetla, and the header from Kiss doesn't get to its target. Matetla kicks it out of bounds now. 27:39 to play. Comets still trying to pull the upset of number 1. Foul here called against the Big Red. Matetla is not happy about something there. Talking to the official. Denison will get possession after the Comets don't do much with it. Comets working a counter now. Gillen and Worstner, excuse me, not Gillen, plays that one back. Denison has a loose ball opportunity. Benjamin wins it the 50-50. I'm actually somewhat surprised because Denison's been getting all of those in this one. Worstner coming back to the ball, goes out of bounds. Nope. Saved by Kist. Ball sent through the box now by Denison. 25 minutes to play. And a yellow card issued back in that last sequence. .25 minutes to play. Ogden will start it again with the goal kick. Comets need to find one here. It doesn't feel like this stat is, I mean, it's right, but it doesn't feel like it. Shots are 14-0 still. Comets haven't gotten any shot on net. Musgrove from just shy of midfield, just past midfield actually. Good fight on the far sideline here. Monsalvo involved. Worstner into the box. Feels like he should have just tripped there to see if he could get a whistle. Denison now on the lead out. Comets get the steal now. Segerstrom working it down to no one there. Metetla was in the area, but it didn't make it there. Benjamin getting involved now. Up to Julis, touched by Metetla. Good strong kick there by Musgrove. Who else? Segerstrom, Julis, and play to the sideline. Comets will be bringing in Harper Gillen once again. Good run here by Thomas. Play back to him by Worstner. Probably didn't get what he wanted on it. Nice footwork by Monsalvo now to the sideline. Puts on the brakes, tries an inside move, passes it back on a drop, sent into the box. Metetla headers it, he's way offside. Good trap there by Denison. .22 minutes left in this one. Denison looking for the jugular. Good play. That ball got cleanly through by Musgrove all the way up to Worstner, but couldn't be controlled because of all the heat on it. Run in. And they're going to call a foul there against Julis for a tackle from behind, basically. All the way back again to Provo, to keep this one away from his net. No shots versus 8 on goal and 14 overall still. Nice inside move. Good pass into the box. And it'll be cleared away by Thomas there. Denison just putting the ball in dangerous spots, waiting to see what happens with it. Segerstrom off, Gillen back in as we mentioned. Ball sent through the box there by Denison, nothing really developing. Denison defending the high side of the field now. Up the far side, near sideline now to Metetla. Has got Thomas behind him. I don't think he saw him there. Goes to the far end. Set towards the net out of nowhere by Monsalvo. Too high. Around the same spot of the first goal for Denison. And that's the first shot of the game for the Comets. It's not on frame, but hey, they're on the board. Comets will regroup for another push now. Comets will have, actually the Big Red will make a substitution now as Kivsafsis checks back in. He's the goal scorer. Will be a big throw in on the far sideline now. Denison just kind of skating to the end of this game, it seems. Not really doing much to score here at the end of this one, but this was around the time they turned it on in the first half, right at the end. Comets have been developing play themselves pretty well. Another one into the box. Yassib gets rid of it. Bounces twice, and somehow again, the other side of Denison coming away with it. Foot race on the near side, and how about that shove? Nothing called from the officials. I don't know if they saw it from their angle. Whoops. Comets doing a good job of defending their own side. It'll be another throw-in from Kist. Nico Voigt checks back in. Let's see who jogs off. Metetla will be replaced. We'll see if they can do something on the corner now. It bounces into the box. Denison setting it up. O'Brien, shot blocked. And the Comets come away with it. They've got numbers if they can get something going here. Picked off of Capital last. Voigt doesn't like the call. Gonzalvo was out in front of everybody there. Had a chance at something if that ball bounced right instead of left. It'll be another throw in for the Big Red now. And the box crossed beautifully. That ball sent way high. That's one that Kusafsis is going to want back. Almost had a brace. He was in a beautiful spot. Ogden will bring it back in with 14.5 to play. Key Companies, a proud partner of Capital Athletics, has been providing quality printing services in the Central Ohio area since 1965, from banners and brochures to yard signs and postcards and so much more. Big or small, Key can print it all. Visit keycompanies.com for a quote today, or stop by to meet their team of specialists at their German Village location, 195 East Livingston Avenue, or in Westerville, 1920 Schruck Road. Key Companies for all your printing needs. 14 minutes left now. Denison trying to finish off a clean sheet and a 2-0 win right now as it stands. Comets fighting for this one at midfield. That's Julius, and he's called for the foul. So it's going to be a free kick from pretty close on, actually, about 30 yards away. We'll see if they have at the net or they try to take a conservative approach. Standing over the ball right now is Kist. Doesn't really do much there with it. And a goal kick for Ogden now. Comets tried to go the slow approach up the near sideline. It's stolen away. Shot got blocked, and the follow-up is good. So a turnover, and you can kind of see that that was going to turn into a odd man situation. I believe that was Rice on the initial steal. Kusafsis was involved, and finally finished off by, I believe, O'Brien. So what a kind of homecoming-ish type of day for him. If that is the case, it's Eli Taylor, 11, on the final there. There was 3 or 4 Denison players around the goal. So it's Taylor, who scored 7 goals last season for Denison, tied for second on the team. He now has a 4-goal season in 2025, which is tied for tops on the team. Kusafsis does get credit for the assist. After the stoppage, Denison resumes play. They lead 3-0 now. This would be the largest win for them, dating back to the start of the series. We mentioned the Comets won 3 in a row COVID kind of canceled the series. Now they've played 4 of the last 5 years, and in those 5 years, Denison's won 4 of the 4 matchups, assuming that they hang on to the 3-goal lead they have here in this one, which I think is safe to say at this point. Comets trying to get something on the counter push here on the near sideline. Big Red come away with it. Shots now in favor of Denison, 19-1. Potentially 20 here as this one's brought into the box. Nope, they try for a cross. It doesn't work. Denison player goes down behind the play. That very easily could have drawn a penalty. It didn't. Capital gets possession. 2 subs as well as Matetla will check back in, it looks like, and Jacob Repetto, sophomore, checks in for Josiah Benjamin. Epstein off for Matetla. The Comets have used just 4 reserves today. So far, the 3 reserves of Epstein, Voigt, and Young have played a combined, testing my mental math here, 57 minutes. The official stopping play here is Worstner getting into it with one of the Denison players. It's Worstner and Hunter getting into it. Worstner is a junior out of Dublin Kaufman High School, went to Mercyhurst and transferred here. Will Hunter is a freshman out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I thought there might have been some beef there or something from high school days, but doesn't seem like there's any animosity there. Hunter has only played in this game for 2 minutes, so I guess Worstner just took offense with something that just recently happened on the field. Worstner now, shot out of a cannon on the high end of the field. Turns on the brakes, plays it back. Right in front of the net now, and the Comets very nearly break up the clean sheet, but not quite. Provo will play it up the sideline. Walking through the middle. Nice inside move from Walsh. And he sent it over to the left. That was Homuth, whose shot got blocked. Denison again controlling it. On the far sideline, Denison bringing it into the corner, trying to practice that kind of stall technique, if you will. And I don't think it's to save anything in this game, but that is a tactic that it's used at the end of games that they could need in their back pocket at the end of the season in the NCAA tournament. So they're practicing now. That keep away method ends up giving a foul the other way. Denison gets it right back before the Comets can proceed too far upfield. There's 8 minutes left in this one. Did you know when you buy Pepsi, you are buying local? From Pepsi to Mountain Dew and everything in between, G&J Pepsi brings you products that are so refreshing and Ohio bottled. G&J Pepsi, local products, global brands. A proud partner of Capital Athletics. Matthias Nofsinger will check in for the Comets now. Ball thrown in now. A lot of reserves out there for Denison trying to make their impact with the team potentially. So don't expect them to just sit on a 3-goal lead here. Yellow card issued to Denison as, again, I said they're going to be pushing here. And they don't let up. Leads to a caution. Those will stack up as the season goes on. You hate to pick up one in the last few minutes of a game that you're up by 3. Good talk there in net. Provo gets it right back down on the ground. Oh, that looked like a handball. It looked like it was pushed forward to Helmuth. Helmuth now feeds Gallium. Comets on the counter. Matetla with a big dribble. 3 big dribbles. Settles it. Comets playing it along their back line here. Played back into the center back position. Comets just playing keep away now. It doesn't seem they have anything developing. Now they go for the big one upfield. Nofsinger gets the throw in for the Comets at least. One more sub. And checking in for Denison is Kirby Brown. And checking in for the Comets is Austin Young again, the freshman, getting a little bit more playing time as of late. Be a throw in for the Comets with 5:42 to play. Another throw in. Nothing developing there at all. Once again, another throw in. Denison clears it from their box. 5 minutes to play. Good footwork here by Julius, keeping it alive for the Comets. Julius wins it again. Gillum looking for help. Gillen boxing his way out. Julius with a spin move and goes up high. Good work in the midfield by the Comets. Thomas coming back to the play with it now. And after some scrambling on the near sideline, I think the Comets gave it up. Nope, they're going to give the Comets the possession. Thrown in by the Comets. Final 4 minutes of this one. They do get a shot on net here, but nothing overly threatening. Well, with the final 4 minutes of this one, we can kind of turn the attention to next week. Saturday again, 2 o'clock start. Baldwin Wallace will be the first OAC game for the Comets. The John Carroll departure kind of changes conference play a bit. Now there's only 8 teams in the conference, or 9 teams in the conference, leading to 8 games. And John Carroll, normally a pretty good team, obviously. They beat the Comets 3-0 earlier this year. So it kind of takes one contender out of it, if you will. The Comets will host Baldwin Wallace, Marietta, Otterbein, and Muskingum. They'll travel to Heidelberg, Ohio Northern, Wilmington, and Mount Union. They'll be battling for a top 4 seed. I think it's kind of a good goal for the Comets. At least host a first-round game in the tournament. Maybe even get a bye. But Otterbein tied this team 3-3, for example. Marietta lost 2-0. The Comets are down 3-0. So it's kind of a litmus test, if you will. Maybe not too much of one, but I think that's pretty similar to what we would expect. The Comets, similar score to Marietta. Otterbein maybe a tier above, but Comets can beat those teams as well. They beat Marietta last year, for example, obviously. Marietta didn't have the strongest of seasons last year. And that Otterbein Cap game is usually a tough one in any sport because of the rivalry. Yellen, nice job to weave through the Denison attack, or defense, to get on the attack. Finally, Denison's able to knock it away from him without a shot attempt. 19-1 in favor of the shots in favor of Denison. So we'll see what the season holds. Saturday will be the start of it a week from today. We'll start at 1:50 in the pregame here on the Capital Sports Network, presented by Flow Sports. We hope you join us for it. And it'll be exciting throughout the month of October to see where the Comets, 1, finish, and 2, what they can do to make a run at the end of the year. They only have 1 win this season. 1-5-1 is their record after today. Good kick. Best shot of the night. They saved it for the 89th minute. Gillen saved by Provo. But yeah, I mean, that'll be the real test. Is OAC play always? And there's been years where the Comets have come in with awful non-conference records, and it hasn't meant anything in terms of their ability to win the conference. Denison almost stole a goal here in the final minute. So you just kind of have to hit the reset button, realize it's only been 7 games. Those 7 non-conference games against really good opponents for a few of those as well, they don't mean anything. So it means a lot, obviously, to the growth of your season. The Comets won't be an at-large team, for example. But in terms of the OAC conference and where you place and where you finish those 7 games, the result of them don't mean anything. It's what you've gathered from those games and what you can bring into the conference that's going to matter ultimately. Saturday will be the first test to answer that. Final 8 seconds tick away. The Denison Big Red, number 1 in the country for a reason. They make a statement again, winning their 8th game of the season. They've yet to lose since being knocked out of the NCAA tournament last year. They want to go right back to that big dance and make a big run. And the Big Red with a big 3-0 win here at Bernlohr Stadium. I'm excited about Saturday. I know we have 1 win this season, folks, but there's some really positive things from this team. And they're not playing completely uphill against some really good competition. So we'll see once we get into OAC play what that means and what that translates to. It'll be a really interesting decision in nets between Ogden and Thomas. Do they keep swiping back and forth, or do they stick with the goalie through conference play? We'll have to see what that decision looks like from Coach Kirk as well. We'll see you on Saturday, October 4th, Baldwin Wallace in OAC play, starting off at Bernlohr Stadium. We'll catch you then. Final score, 3-0 Denison over Capital. For all your updates with the athletics department here at Capital and all the recent scores and stories from the many different sports here, go to athletics.capital.edu. We thank you for listening to the Capital Sports Network, presented by Flow Sports. 3-0 Denison, your final score tonight.